Welcome back to News This Week in Nursing Homes. I'm Nurse Bug. A devastating fire at a Massachusetts assisted living facility reignited national calls for stronger oversight in the senior living industry. 10 residents of Gabriel House in Fall River have died, and 30 others were injured after the blaze tore through the second floor. While investigators say the cause does not appear to be suspicious, the tragedy is shining a spotlight on gaps in regulations. Industry leaders are urging lawmakers to enact sweeping reforms, including mandatory emergency preparedness training, tougher licensing standards, and unannounced inspections. Nearly 1,900 fires break out annually in residential care settings, causing dozens of deaths and injuries nationwide. The Senate Aging Committee has requested new federal studies, and Senator Mark Kelly expected to reintroduce the Assisted in AL Act, which would increase transparency and accountability. This tragedy is a wake-up call to re-examine how we protect residents in facilities and where the cracks are. From Fall River to Capitol Hill, the conversation is shifting, and for many, the question is no longer if more oversight is needed, but how soon it will come. In the wake of sweeping federal updates of LTC regulations, nursing homes are being urged to closely audit mental health diagnosis and medication practices, particularly antipsychotics and opioids. Updated CMS server guidance demands strict adherence to professional diagnostic standards. Diagnosis must be backed by evidence-based criteria and documented properly in the medical record. CMS has zeroed in on schizophrenia diagnosis in recent audits, making it clear providers must show comprehensive evaluations were completed or risk noncompliance. Another critical change: facilities must inform and obtain consent from the residents or their representatives before prescribing not only antipsychotics, but also opioids, including explaining risks, benefits, and alternatives, and capturing that consent in writing. The recommendation: that facilities audit all current mental health diagnoses and med orders, ensure non-drug interventions are considered first, and involve the facility's medical director to help ensure every diagnosis and medication decision aligns with new professional standards. The bottom line: compliance isn't optional, and documentation must prove it. CMS Administrator Dr. Oz announced a nationwide crackdown, calling hospice fraud a global raid on one of America's most important public trust funds, describing suspicious clusters of hospice operations in parts of LA, many operating out of seemingly empty buildings, with over 1,000 flagged as potentially fraudulent. He cited a recent California case in which a man pleaded guilty to defrauding Medicare of more than $17 million through sham hospice and home health companies. To fight back, CMS launched its Fraud Defense Operations Center, a so-called war room uniting AI-driven data analysts, investigators, legal experts, and law enforcement to catch bad actors before payments go out. Urgency is clear: the Medicare Trust Fund could run dry by 2033. Last month, the Department of Justice took down 324 individuals linked to over $14 billion in Medicare and Medicaid fraud. Hospice leaders say they support the crackdown, but warn against sweeping tactics that could hurt legitimate providers. With fraud, waste, and abuse threatening the future of Medicare, CMS is no longer playing defense. It's going on the offensive. Thank you for joining me for News This Week in Nursing Homes. To get more of Qsource news and info, visit qsource.org to view podcasts, sign up for the newsletter, and remember, for all of your QI needs, call the Q.